4, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Howley and off and running. Brian here with you, JP producing, getting you ready for Tuesday's show as we are rolling right along into what will be a busy morning before it's all said and done. We are all over the map this morning, y'all. We're checking in with Southern University. We're checking in with the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. We're checking in with Entergy. I say that while my own power's out. We're checking in Congressman Troy Carter. We got Jeff Crouere hopping on board later this hour. It's a lot of room to run, so let's go ahead and get after it. Top stories and trending. Let's go.
Number 5.
A West Baton Rouge Parish jail inmate allegedly gave drugs to another inmate who later overdosed, deputies said yesterday. Nicholas Henderson, 26 years old, booked on murder charges after the death of 30-year-old Jeremy Paul last week. Henderson allegedly had Mojo, a synthetic cannabinoid, in the West Baton Rouge Parish jail. Paul was given the drug by Henderson, deputies added. He died last Wednesday.
Number 4.
The state legislature has awarded the statewide organization over Louisiana's 5 regional food banks $1 million to expand the purchase of locally grown produce and proteins. The funds for Feeding Louisiana were approved on August 8th by the Joint Legislative Committee on the Budget as part of the state's ongoing commitment to strengthening food access and supporting Louisiana farmers.
Number 3.
More than 100 Louisiana National Guard military police officers will be in Washington, D.C. to help protect federal buildings, national monuments, and other federal properties. Louisiana National Guard sent 135 guardsmen to, quote, support the Metropolitan Police Department, the District of Columbia National Guard, and the D.C. local law enforcement, according to the press release.
Number 2.
Former Port Allen Mayor Derek Lewis had his bond set at $250,000 after being arrested last week for alleged rape and indecent behavior with a juvenile. 64-year-old Lewis was arrested back on August 12th after the West Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office accused him of contributing to the delinquency of juveniles and indecent behavior with juveniles. 2 days later, he was also booked for alleged third-degree rape.
Number 1.
Looking more and more like we are going to have a storm on the heels of Aaron and possibly a storm on the heels of what will be Ferdinand. Aaron is still out there, not going to bother anybody. Behind Aaron, near the Leeward Islands in the tropical Atlantic, there is a wave located over central tropical Atlantic, continues to produce a broad area of disorganized showers. As it stands right now, it's got a 60% chance of forming into a named storm over the next 7 days. Behind it, just off the coast of Africa, there's another wave that right now has a 30% chance of becoming a named storm over that same period of time.
Well, progress was made. That was the main talking point coming out of President Trump's meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky. Up next, planning a meeting between Putin and Zelensky.
Get those two in a room together, huh?
That's it.
Sure, that's going to be a good idea. It's the only way to get somewhere.
Oh, of course.
It's the only way to get somewhere. So as I understand it, they want a meeting with Putin and Zelensky and then a meeting with Putin, Trump, and Zelensky after it.
Oh,
it's like,
man.
Why do we need the other one? Like, get the two in a room together. They're the
With
ones
Trump,
fighting.
right?
They're the ones that need to hash it out. So, yeah.
Mm.
No, not with Trump.
Not with Trump.
Not with Trump. Trump's done his bit.
Can they be trusted by themselves?
They are their own nations. They have to be.
Yeah, you're right. But still. November 21st, Brian. That's the earliest projected date for arrival of whatever is hurling towards Earth at 135,000 miles per hour.
This Avi Loeb person over at Harvard believes it's an alien spacecraft. A lot of people are saying, it's a comet or a meteorite or something like anything else.
It's a space peanut.
But you're my best friend, meteorite. You've got a Harvard professor saying, be ready for extraterrestrial contact. That's a weird space to be in.
What a time to be alive.
I know.
Oh, man. Hey, in other news, former LSU football coach Ed Orgeron told Barstool Sports that he is considering returning to the gridiron nearly 4 years after his last game coaching the Tigers.
Okay. Part of this is when you're a football coach, you always want to coach football. That's a part of it. Another part of this is he got raked over the coals in his divorce. So he might be running out of money.
Oh,
I mean, we meaning LSU. My name wasn't on it, but
Yeah,
LSU supporters cut him a big old check to not coach football, just to
Yeah.
get out. He had the best. By the way, he had the best answer possible to that. He said, "Where do you want me to sign, and which door do you want me to leave out of?"
wow.
That's-
Okay, yeah.
That's,
Yeah, so
that
you're
is a
thinking this is
classic
what it
result.
is.
Well, I think he'll come back in some form or fashion. I don't know what fashion, but I mean, he is possibly the best recruiter ever.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. That was pre-rev share, pre-NIL.
Mm.
He was possibly the
Good
best
point.
recruiter ever before the only thing that mattered was the dollar sign. So I don't know if Ed Ogeron in 2026 would be obviously the next time he, but like I don't know if a future Ed Ogeron has that same power. I don't know if and if you want to bring him back as a defensive coach, like as a position coach, sure, why not?
Yeah.
But like it's not going to be what we remember for sure. Anyway, 611 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. We're going to talk some sports in just a little bit. I forgot to write down for you. I'll take care of that in the break. We're going to talk some sports in just a little bit. Before we hit our break, though, got to remind you about the folks over at Vex European, VexEuropean.com is the website. If you drive a European vehicle, you need to hit up VexEuropean.com. Learn a little bit more about what Vinny and his team does over at Vex European. In fact, I should be about due to go see them again. Yeah, I got to be coming up on that pretty soon. If for no other reason, just to go visit them for their own good cheer and great people. I mean, they're awesome people over there off Benefit Drive. If you've got a BMW, you get a BMW tech. If you've got a Mercedes, you get a Mercedes tech. Jaguar owners, I know it's been a couple months since the dealership closed, but if you are just now getting due for your oil change since the dealership closed and you're looking for a new spot, Vex has got you covered. Get paired with a Jaguar tech. If you want to find your make of vehicle, check out VexEuropean.com. Click the vehicles tab. Click the specials tab as well. See if you can't save yourself $100 on your first visit over at VexEuropean.com. Okay, I uploaded a new 5-star printing and science spot a long time ago, well, like 3 weeks ago, and that wasn't it. Yeah, I gotta find Danny's email.
Keith says, "O needs that cheese." Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Keith.
6:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Quick recap from last night. Bengals were a 31-17 winner over the Washington Commanders. Yes, we did get to see a little bit of Joe Burrow. No, we did not get to see any of Jaden Daniels. Burrow was 9 of 14 for 62 yards last night. The Bengals they were on point. It was the second quarter belonged to the Bengals. It was 14-7 Washington after the first, right? And then the Bengals put up a 21-0 second quarter. Then the teams traded field goals in the second half. So 31-17, your final score there. Moving on to the New Orleans Saints, obviously the quarterback battle heading into the regular season is going to be the biggest talking point for the next 2 weeks. Let's start off with Kellen Moore after the Jacksonville game, being asked if they've narrowed down the battle any bit.
Have you narrowed this quarterback battle down to Spencer Rattler and Kyler Murray?
We're just going to keep building through this process. And, we think we got 3 really good ones here, and we'll continue to build.
Okay. All right, first of all, no, they're asking about the starting quarterback, and Jake Hayner's on the back burner for that, to be sure. There's no reason to say you got 3 at this point. This is between Rattler and Shuck. I mean, unless you're going to do something foolish like running Jake Hayner up there for preseason game 3. Because after preseason game 3 is NFL week 1. You don't have a 4th preseason game for everyone to fine tune. So it's between Shuck and Rattler, and at this point it's what and what. Their stats are remarkably similar. Rattler has completed 1 more pass, and he's thrown 1 more pass. Rattler has 22 more passing yards. They've both thrown for a tutty and an interception. So there's very, very little discernible difference at this point. Now, the next question then becomes, do you want to just pick a guy and roll? Pick a guy and say, this is our guy. We're going to go with him until we can't anymore. Or do you want to continue the competition between Rattler and Shuck?
We'll see. Obviously, I got first sight here, but film will be an important aspect of this thing, and we'll just see, how everything progresses leading into this week.
There was another soundbite later on where Moore said that he wanted more competition. You want to keep the battle going. And I don't know. I'm of the opinion, and then the next football game I coach will be the first. But at some point, you just pick a guy and roll, man. Pick a guy and run with him for sure. So, anyway. The Saints will play Saturday. Sean Payton returns to the Caesars Superdome. The Broncos come in to take on the Saints at noon on Saturday. So you will have that game right down the hall on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Before we get you to the Fox Business Report, do need to remind you that on top of everything else going on sports-wise, we got high school footballs just around the corner as well, which I'm a little bit fired up about for sure. The Battle on the Bluff is coming your way. Talk 107.3 proudly supports Mayor President Sid Edwards' Men for Others campaign and the upcoming Battle on the Bluff High School Jamboree. Watch as 12 area teams compete from Thursday, August 28th through Friday, August 29th at A.W. Mumford Stadium on the campus of Southern University. You can get more information, purchase your tickets over at talk1073.com. It's just high school football is something special. I as much as I love the NFL and as much as I love college football, high school football is just it's a different vibe. It's a completely different vibe. In fact, I think I might be going. I shouldn't say might be. I'm gonna be heading down to Covington at some point. Got to pin down when homecoming is this year, because we're looking at 30 years since your boy was in high school. Yeah, I know. I got old fast. Any Hoosers. We got the Fox Business Report coming your way. After that, I'll take a look at traffic, and then on the back end of that, we're sending National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. I can find a few things for them to do here if we need them. What did the caller say?
He wanted to let us know that Jaden did play last night.
Oh, he did.
And then Facebook comments say the same. Galen says Jaden played early and scored. Renee said Jaden Daniels scored the first touchdown for Washington.
He didn't throw a pass.
But yeah, like the caller said, and then Galen and Renee in the chat are saying.
I'll correct that coming in. Dude, you can jump in on that if
No, I wasn't gonna interrupt you.
why not?
No,
Get it right.
but I mean, what am I supposed to do? Oh no, Brian actually.
1 run, 14 yards. He just didn't throw a pass. All right. Starting you off on 12 westbound coming in from Denham Springs, it is going to be stop and go back by the Range Avenue on-ramp. You'll tap the brakes a little bit out there. Now, you're going to find some further delays when you get on I-12 westbound, delays starting back by O'Neill and continuing up to around Sherwood. There's just some heavier than normal congestion for this time of morning. After that, it does clear back up again. 10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish looks good. 10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge Parish looks good. As do both bridges. Surface streets, we got an accident going on. It's actually been moved off the roadway. It's Jefferson at Lobdell. And, man, heading down to Ascension Parish real quick, Highway 73 in between Dutchtown High and Highway 74 looks jammed up right now as well. That's that can't be school traffic, can it? It's too early for that. But, yeah, coming from, like, if you pull out of Dutchtown High and make a right on 73, it's jammed up all the way. I mean, it's not that far, but all the way to the light from there. So, not showing any real reason why, but that's your look at traffic from the Talk 1073 Traffic Center. Hey, grab 13, 14, and 15, please. 624 Talk 1073 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. My apologies, y'all. I did not watch the Monday Night Football game. I was reading off the box score there, and apparently Jaden Daniels did play. Only thing is, according to ESPN, he didn't throw a pass. Opened the box score, did not see his name, so I worked under the assumption that we didn't get to see him last night. But my great appreciation to the folks in the chat over there on Facebook Live and to the folks who called in. Let me know that Jaden did, in fact, play. In fact, not only did he play, he scored the first touchdown. Open the box score. It says Washington passing. You got Josh Johnson and Sam Hartman. No Jaden Daniels there, but scroll down to the the rushing portion of the box score, and sure enough, 1 carry, 14 yards, and a tutty. So, all right, LSU's guys showing up and showing out last night. But, again, I apologize for the incorrect information there, and thank you to everyone who brought it back up again. We're going to head down to New Orleans in our next segment, check in with Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. He joins us every Tuesday. We'll talk about LaToya Cantrell's indictment a little bit. Also talk a little bit about the Times-Picayune Advocate article on Jeff. Your boy got stung by Tyler Bridges yesterday. And again, shout out to everyone who sent me the link or brought up the article over the weekend, because it was online before it was actually in the paper. And a bunch of folks sent it my way, because I get a mention like somewhere down there as Jeff joins me weekly. He joins a fellow conservative talk show host weekly. So anyway, we'll talk with Jeff about LaToya Cantrell's indictment. We'll talk with Jeff about where we're at in hurricane season as we approach the 20th anniversary of Katrina. But on top of all that, though, I want to ask Jeff if they need a National Guard to roll through New Orleans. The National Guard, or 135 members of Louisiana's National Guard, are being sent to Washington, D.C. to help out there, as Donald Trump has called on the National Guard, or brought in some National Guard members. 5 other states have sent members. Governor Jeff Landry has tapped 135 of our own. Colonel Noel Collins says the soldiers are going to be up in D.C. for at least a month.
We're going to be in support of the D.C. National Guard and the D.C. Metro Police, as well as local law enforcement. I don't have an exact date, but as of now, the orders go through 30 September.
You're going to hear more about this throughout the morning from our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network. Lieutenant Colonel Collins says the governor was acting on a request from President Trump to restore order in the nation's capital.
We were asked to respond and support the D.C. National Guard, and that's what the Louisiana National Guard is doing.
I'm not normally averse to helping out when we can, but there's a couple things to think about right here. I'm sure you could, if you're out and about in Baton Rouge, you could probably pick a handful of places where you wouldn't mind seeing homeless encampments being swept up. If that's the purpose, is to go up there and work on their homelessness situation. I'm sure if you're down in New Orleans, you could find more than you find in Baton Rouge. Absolutely. But more than either of those situations, today is August 19th. 10 days from now is the anniversary, the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, the biggest natural disaster in our state's and probably nation's history. After the August 29th, you'll roll into September. September 10th is unofficially the, quote, peak of hurricane season. As it stands right now, there is a major hurricane in the Atlantic. There's a storm right behind that major hurricane, and then there's another disturbance behind that one as we're starting to see the part of hurricane season where things churn through. Now, y'all know everything's a sports analogy with me. But what do you want your team doing before a big game? Do you want them out playing on somebody else's roster? Or would you rather them rest up? I don't know, just something to consider. I'm all about helping when we can offer help. But man, considering where we are and we know it's about to be the busy time, I would look at my National Guard and say, hey, President Trump, respectfully, we kind of have to stand down right now. There's a better than average chance we're going to have our own problems within the next month. There are more than enough troops from more than enough states who can help clean up Washington, D.C. I don't know. What say you? Let's chat over on Facebook Live. The folks at Lake Urgent bring you that Facebook Live feed every day. The glorified crew hops in there. We take your comments regularly throughout the show. What's your thoughts on this one? If we have the opportunity to offer help, which we do, and there are no storms pointing our way right now. I'll be very clear about that. I'm not trying to create panic. But we have the opportunity to help. Should we be helping? Or considering the time of year, what we know could well be on the forefront. I'm not saying it is on the forefront, but could well be on the forefront. Would it be a better move to say, you're going to get plenty of help from elsewhere? We're going to hang back and we're going to skip this dance. let me know. Talk 1073's Facebook page. That's where we're live every single morning. All right, we got a quick break for news, traffic, and weather. Jeff Crouere is going to join us next. I'm going to need a new recording device for the press club. I cannot for the life of me figure out how to get it from the Zoom into my laptop. They led with it. Damn it. I hate that. I didn't think they were going to lead with that because of what was in front of it. Okay. Good morning, Christy. Is the sun out enough to get some light in the house? Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm a little miffed about that 5-star spot. I need to go back in and see if it's still saved somewhere. Because yeah, I changed it about midway through July. Danny had sent me a message saying it's time to refresh. Sent me some talking points. I cut the spot the same day, and or did I? It wasn't the same day. No. Come to think of it, it was not the same. Yes, it was. It was the same day because I knew the next day I was moving Carrie in. It was July 17th, and I was like, I got to get this done because I'm going to Hattiesburg tomorrow.
Do you save them anywhere? Do you save them, or do you just?
And yeah, I've got a 5-star folder.
Oh. You want me to check see if it's
No, I'll look after the show.
Oh, okay. MK.
638, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. You know, New Orleans has always been good at lampooning its own when it comes to politics. And I got to tell you, as technology has evolved, the Big Easy has not dropped off. Its meme game is everywhere it used to be before there was an internet. As Mayor LaToya Cantrell gets indicted last Friday, over the weekend, boy, if you could think it up, it was out there. Joining us now to talk about it, Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics. How are you, man?
Hey, good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Jeff. Is there a meme that hasn't come out yet?
Well, I mean, LaToya has always been a great target, and you know, this is just the latest story with her that's generating just incredible activity online, and you know, it's an amazing story. I mean, we've been talking about it for so long, the investigation, and then finally, you know, Friday afternoon it hits, and of course, it's the talk of the town.
Okay, an indictment's one thing, prosecuting it is another. How strong is the case?
I mean, I think it's pretty strong. They've been working on it for a long time. I mean, I've been hearing different legal opinions about it, and you know, obviously, we've had political leaders that have been indicted, like Jason Williams, that have been acquitted, and others, you know, like Ray Nagin, who have been convicted. So, you know, we'll have to see how this develops. But, I mean, you know, the arrogance of her for, you know, involving herself in this for so long. I mean, this didn't just happen once.
Right.
I mean, repeatedly for years. I mean, it's just breathtaking, really, when you think about what she's been doing and how long this has been going on, and how she just, you know, doesn't seem to care. And then she cries about being persecuted because she's a, you know, African American woman, which is another total distraction.
If we can take just a moment to acknowledge, she is the first African American woman to be indicted while mayor of New Orleans, so she's breaking ground here.
Right. She is. But, you know, I'd like to just look at for a second, you know, the history here. So now, you know, post-Katrina, just to review here, we've had now two mayors, because Ray Nagin was convicted of bribery, money laundering, and other charges. Congressman Dollar Bill Jefferson,
Oh, yeah.
convicted of bribery after they discovered $90,000 in cold hard cash in his freezer. We've had several council members, an assessor, a district attorney, and a school board member also that have been indicted on various charges just in the last, few years post Katrina.
And one of those
And then, of
councilmen's
course,
on the
you got-
ballot.
What's that?
And one of those councilmen's on the ballot for the next mayor's race.
And I saw him the other day, and moderated a mayoral debate, and he's polished up his act, and he's got support, and he's one of the top 3 candidates, and has redeemed himself. I mean, he's now back on the council, and he paid his debt to society, and seems to be a changed man.
Every saint has a past, every sinner has a future, right?
Right. So I mean, it's just the election could not have come at a better time, because it is time to turn the page.
Mm-hmm.
What I would just like to, get these candidates to address is that, the city has had a 27% loss of population since pre-Katrina. And in the past, 5 years of this decade, our area, New Orleans and the metro, has lost more than any other metro in the country.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, 5-alarm fire here. I mean, we've got super, super, super serious problems in this. Just look at the year we've had, Brian. We've been talking about this for months. You started with a terror attack.
Right.
Then you've got, a bunch of hardened criminals get released out into the streets, and,
Yeah.
and one of them's still out there. And then they release another hardened criminal a few weeks later because his name is like someone else's, and he's still out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then this indictment. I mean, it's overshadowing the positive news that we can report about the murder rate going down.
Well, that's the thing here, Jeff, is the juxtaposition of the two. Is the murder rate is down. There's business wins to be had for sure. You got all the big news with the port, which is going to mean awesome things for the city. You've got the tourism in where New Orleans and company has just been working their behinds off. And the juxtaposition of the two is like, even with all the negative, the resilience of New Orleans remains.
Well, and that's the story of post-Katrina.
Right.
That the city, fought back against incredible odds, and we've had some successes, right? And
Yeah.
the Super Bowl was a major success. Coming days after the terror attack, and so there is a resilience here. There's a love for New Orleans that is just amazing. The city is a 307-year-old gem. It's the most unique city in the country. It's just the leadership is just, so bad in so many different areas. The business community tries. Those that are working with the NOPD leadership, I have to give my hats off to the chief. So we've got some good things going on, and I think this is an opportunity, hopefully, to go in a new direction politically. Looks to me like Helena Moreno's in a solid position. We'll see how it goes, but she's definitely the leader right now.
We got Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics, on with us. All right, Jeff, we got to talk about you for a quick second. Big write-up in the Picayune and the Advocate. Let's unpack this thing real quick, because what brought about Tyler Bridges wanting to follow you around?
I think it was a guy, one of my old callers, a guy named the Flaming Liberal, who probably, got Tyler on my case. And he followed me around and, did the story. And, I've had hit pieces before, and I wouldn't call this a total hit piece.
Not 100%.
I think Tyler tried to be fair. But he did, raise questions about, what am I doing, and how do I wear so many hats? And, a lot of people said, well, why are they targeting you for working hard? You're not doing anything that is something that others haven't do when they, juggle different responsibilities. So I think it was that. And then, of course, it's a Senate race. The fact that I am, communications director for the state treasurer.
Right.
And I think that is certainly the other component here. So, it's part of this business that we're in, Brian.
It is, and we all have to walk different fine lines. Yours just gets a little bit trickier because, working for the treasurer. Now, let's get everything out on the table there. You've mentioned that on this show before, your role with Fleming's office, but It's one of those things where, you know, the old adage in radio, you always have new listeners. It's one of those where how often do you feel like you need to remind everybody versus how
Well,
often?
that was my point to him. I do an event called Politics with a Punch. He was on the panel. I addressed it in front of 150 people. We had him at the Home Defense Foundation. I mentioned it in front of 100 people there. I mentioned it on the radio many times.
Yeah.
Well,
Your name is on every press release, for crying out loud.
Right.
Like every reporter that gets a press release has the opportunity to say in a release put out by Jeff Crouere, John Fleming, ... I mean, it's
right. And they've done news stories where I've been quoted for the state treasury office, and on and on and on. Different events I've been to with him with Republican women, and they contact me to set up speeches for him. So I mean, that was the unfair part of it, where he was implying that I was trying to hide this. And I've sent out literally, dozens and dozens and dozens of news releases with my name on it,
right.
Touting, what the state treasury department is doing. I'm very proud of the work they do. I mean, it's an incredible department that he leads, and got 70 plus employees that do a great job.
We're talking with Jeff Crouere, host of Ringside Politics, and on the treasurer's office, Jeff Crouere.
And by the way, you got a plug in the piece.
I did. Label this fellow conservative talk show host. How about that?
So, I mean, that was part of the whole piece on me was Brian Haldane. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I like the little Tyler dropping that and went in on me. It's my phone buzzed a little bit over the weekend for that, for sure. Which, by the way, this hit the online version.
Show you how he was. I mean, he's a thorough guy. I mean, he was researching me for a long time. I didn't know what was going to be in there.
No, Tyler's very good at his job. He's very.
Yeah.
He might not. I mean, he might take
he's
up
a liberal.
He's a
liberal.
Yeah. I was going to be a little more diplomatic than that, but yeah, because I don't want to be the next hit piece.
But I told people I think he is very competent. He tries to bring both sides in. So he had some people on there that hated me.
Yeah.
And he brought on some folks that said complimentary things. So.
For the Senate race, and you and I have never talked about the Senate race, and I don't plan on starting because of where you're at. I mean, that's
right.
Like it's my job to not ask that question in this particular setting. So
right.
We got 2 minutes left before I got to hit your money now, and you got a show to get to, for crying out loud, because one of the 1,000 hats. In these last 2 minutes, I think I might be off base here with Governor Landry sending National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. Jeff, do you have a problem with this right now, considering where we are right now, sending 135 National Guard troops to D.C.?
Well, I think he's doing it to curry favor with the president.
Of course.
Obviously, he feels that's an important relationship for him. We've got so many issues here in our area that, I think should be the focus. So, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, as far as the Trump relationship with Governor Landry and his administration. The president talking about yesterday wanting to get rid of voting machines. And I just saw that we sent out a news release, Secretary of State's office, about, different demonstrations they're going to do about voting machines.
Saw that.
And then you got the district controversy about the, Cleo Fields district. Mm-hmm. And then, you got the carbon changes, carbon capture issue and all kind of things. So I think this was just a way for the governor to, try to get more support for what President Trump is doing. But, even though we've made progress, Brian, I mean, we still have a lot of issues here in Louisiana.
We've talked about it. We've talked about it repeatedly. The homeless encampments are back. And
exactly.
If you're sending the National Guard to D.C. to clean up the homeless, maybe we should keep them here to clean up the homeless. And, oh, by the way, September 10th is the peak of hurricane season. Maybe not wear our guys out before they have to rest up for a big game.
I agree with you completely on that.
Right.
And, I just did some bike riding over the weekend. Yeah, the homeless are back. I can vouch for that. And that's something that needs to be addressed. No doubt.
He is the man of 1,000 hats, Jeff Crouere. You got a show to get to. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Brian. Take
Later
care.
on. You too. Here's your money now. All right, Galen, that needs to be included in the conversation. I like the show of unity of using the Louisiana Guard. Also, it's a small group, so not really impactful if we need them for post-storm issues. I don't know. I'm one that prepares for the worst. Which National Guard troops do we need? All of them. Like I just, but I'm with you in spirit on that though. Like not about currying favor with Trump, although politically that's a smart move by Governor Landry. When Donald Trump says, "Who's been there for me?" Governor Landry can say, "Yes, I absolutely have." I'm totally on board on that side. But bigger than that is having pride in our nation's capital. Being able to say this for the same reason Donald Trump wants to clean up. I want to clean up. For the same reason Donald Trump wants to clean up, Jeff Landry wants to clean up. That city should be a point of pride. And not just the mall and not just the monuments. I mean, I'm talking Foggy Bottom, Georgetown, you name it. Howard University, you name it. The entire city of Washington, D.C. Everywhere except where the Nationals play. Because screw them. That one I need to. I want to keep that one for another minute. It's the other one I want to get rid of. Yeah, those were both recorded at the same time, but no, yeah, he had two of them. I wanted to swap one out, and then another 2 months or so, we'd swap that one out. Bro, his spots are getting some run, man.
Yeah.
Oh, Danny's gotta be loving that shit. 6:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Was riding up Bluebonnet the other day, drove right past NeuroJust. You know what? I remind you all the folks over at NeuroJust. Do you battle with, suffer from anxiety and depression? Or does a family member or a loved one battle with or suffer from anxiety and depression? Has traditional therapy and or prescription drugs not been the answer? If that's the case, I need to tell you about the folks at NeuroJust. They specialize in a treatment called TMS. TMS stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. This is it is using magnetic pulses to stimulate areas of the brain that are involved in mood regulation. If you've got anxiety or depression, you already know. It's a constant fight or flight battle. It's like having the choppiest of choppy seas in your head all the time. TMS chills that down. It calms the waters. It's FDA approved. It is non-invasive. It's not painful. Learn more at neurojust.com, neurojust.com. Oftentimes, therapy can be talked around, and oftentimes prescription drugs can either lose effect, have side effects, or have addictive natures. This is non-invasive, which means there are no side effects. Learn more at neurojust.com. We're going to get back into that National Guard story next hour. Right now, though, another story you heard from our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network. This was, okay. There's a new study out, was commissioned by Reset Louisiana. Talk about the tax overhaul recently. They say for the vast majority, this has made an improvement. Barry Irwin, who's been on the show with us before, the president and CEO of Leaders for a Better Louisiana, says the cut in income tax to a flat 3% has more than offset the slight increase in sales tax.
Those decreases in income tax are slightly more than the increases in sales tax. So that's why overall people get basically a small tax cut.
So important to note there. It's a small cut, but it is nonetheless a cut. The number of times we've heard about the state legislature raising the sales tax. Well, no, you can't just say that in a vacuum. That's only one side of the argument. They also cut our income tax down to a flat 3%. Those two, they go hand in hand. Irwin says the state's long-term goal is to just eliminate the state income tax altogether, which I'm in favor of. It would help Louisiana compete with other southern states like Texas, Tennessee, Florida, Mississippi's on their way right now. I said short of that, the flat 3% income tax, still not bad.
We think that will bring benefits to the state in terms of more investment, more economic development, hopefully more people coming into the state being attracted by the fact that we have a very low income tax.
And we have time. We're not catching up with Texas and Florida right now. They've already got no income tax. Same with Tennessee. But you look at states like Mississippi, there's a handful of other ones that are gradually decreasing their state income tax. We actually have time to catch up with them on that front. Mississippi's doing it over like a 10-year period. Governor Landry mentioned this at Legislator last Friday. It's like we have the opportunity to step in. If we want to act, we have the opportunity to step in, eliminate that last 3%, and bump ahead of them when it comes to that tax comparison. By the way, Barry Irwin says when talking about the whole tax package, for most people, their combined tax burden is going to decrease by double digits.
The vast majority of people are going to see a pretty significant cut in their taxes overall, in a range from 15% up to maybe 25%, even a little bit higher.
Reset Louisiana, by the way, this is where the Public Affairs Research Council and Better Louisiana got together, Leaders for a Better Louisiana. They teamed up on this, and we're going to get into it later on in the week, hopefully later on in the week, to get a better breakdown of what they put out. Right now, we need a breakdown of ABC News. After that, we'll get a breakdown of top stories and trending. And then hour two is coming your way. News, traffic, weather. It's heads up 7 o'clock at Talk 107.3. revisit the National Guard spots at the end of the 7 o'clock hour. 6:25. We were supposed to do DCFS was at Press Club yesterday. And that's where that audio was supposed to go. But between last night and admittedly I was a little drunk, but last night and then again this morning, I couldn't get the audio into my laptop, so it left us high and dry. And I was hoping they would have had something on it, but they didn't. Every time he says rent is due, I think of Coming to America. When they first find that apartment and the guy goes falling down, hey, Stu, the rent's due, mother. Don't be pulling that falling down the stairs shit on me. Power's still out. Went out at 4, like, it went out at, right at 4 a.m. Oh, shit. Mm. .705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, JP producing. We're starting off your second hour at 72 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge, on our way up to about 96 before it's all said and done. Yuck. We got a busy hour for you this hour. We're going to be talking with Dean Martin, Dr. Hang on a second now. Give me one quick second. I apologize. Don't Doctor. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. LeBlanc, Lealon, from Southern University. Lealon. Dr. LeBlanc Martin. He's a dean in the College of Sciences and Engineering. We're going to talk about some of the things they're working on over there at Southern when it comes to their the pillars of success. That's coming up in our next segment. Also this hour, Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Chamber going to join us at 7:35. No, I'm sorry, Baton Rouge Area Foundation Man, I am just off my game to start this hour. What the hell? I tell you what, that's it. Yeah. Chris Meyer, 7:35. Dr. Martin, 7:15. Right now, top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Starts us off in West Baton Rouge Parish at the West Baton Rouge Parish Jail, where an inmate allegedly gave drugs to another inmate who later overdosed. 26-year-old Nicholas Henderson was booked on murder charges after the death of 30-year-old Jeremy Paul last week. Henderson allegedly had mojo, shared it with Paul. Paul was given the drug by Henderson, deputy said. Paul did die last Wednesday.
Number 4.
State legislature has awarded the statewide organization over Louisiana's 5 regional food banks $1 million to expand the purchase of locally grown produce and proteins. The funds for Feeding Louisiana were approved back on August 8th by the Joint Legislative Committee on the Budget as part of the state's ongoing commitment to strengthening food access and supporting Louisiana farmers.
Number 3.
More than 100 Louisiana National Guard troops are heading to Washington, D.C. to help protect federal buildings, national monuments, and other federal properties. National Guard sent 135 guardsmen, actually, to support the Metropolitan Police Department, the District of Columbia National Guard, and D.C. local law enforcement as Donald Trump looks to clean up the Capitol.
Number 2.
Former Port Allen Mayor Derek Lewis had his bond set at $250,000 after being arrested last week for alleged rape and indecent behavior with a juvenile. 64-year-old Lewis was arrested back on August 12th after West Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office accused him of contributing to the delinquency of juveniles and indecent behavior with juveniles. 2 days later, he was also booked for alleged third-degree rape.
Number 1.
Takes us out to the tropics, where Aaron's not going to be a problem for us. Aaron's about to hook and head north into the Atlantic. Still a major hurricane right now. But seeing the tropics churn up is noteworthy, to be sure. On the heels of Aaron, not on the heels, a little bit behind Aaron, near the Leeward Islands in the tropical Atlantic, you've got a wave located over the central tropical Atlantic. It continues to produce a broad area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development of the system, meaning what? It's got a 60% chance of becoming a named storm over the next 7 days. If it does, it'll be Fernand. And then on the heels of that, coming just off the coast of Africa right now, there's another system, another tropical wave that has a 30% chance of becoming a named storm.
Progress was made. That was the main talking point coming out of President Trump's meeting with Vladimir Zelensky. Up next, planning a meeting between Putin and Zelensky.
Let's get those two together, man.
Yep.
Let's make magic happen.
Hopefully.
That's
And no further wars.
yeah.
No further fighting.
We want them both swiping right here.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
What?
What? Wait. What does this become?
I don't know. I was going to walk down a path and then decided that's probably the wrong answer.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
How about Zelensky coming out of the meeting yesterday? Just
Yeah.
just completely different than back in February. It was,
he had some time to think about it.
it's, what was that line from, is it in Rocky, the beginning of Rocky 2? When he's applying for different jobs and the guy says, why did you stay as a boxer? I hear you're pretty good. And
Yeah.
Rocky says, you ever get punched in the face 100 times a night?
Yeah.
After a while, it starts to sting.
That's it.
Same thing like here. It's like if you're Zelensky, I think he's been punched in the face enough. He's got to be looking for an end to this.
Yep. Get a little bit of humble pie.
Yeah.
Hey, November 21st, that's the earliest projected date for arrival of whatever is hurling towards Earth at 135,000 miles per hour.
And the good news is when you're going that fast, you can turn pretty easily.
Right. I mean, so what are we thinking? I mean, this is
it, dude. This is aliens, man.
This is it.
This is the mysterious interstellar visitor
Wow.
has been named 31 Atlas by the scientific community. It was first spotted back on July 1st. If this turns out to be an alien vessel, Avi Loeb, the Harvard professor who's totally on board with this being an alien spacecraft, estimates that such a craft would arrive on Earth between November 21st and December 5th.
Wow.
Yep.
So what are we doing to prepare for that?
For the aliens?
Yeah, like what? Like, do you have any prep plans?
We're
anything?
probably, yeah. I mean, we're gonna thaw some meat.
Yeah.
Maybe fire up the grill. I don't know. What do aliens in? We're not letting them make the potato salad.
No.
because they're just
No.
brand new.
Yeah. No. Can't do that.
I don't need any of my food covered with space dust.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll fire up the
That.
grill.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
maybe hit up beefiswhatsfordinner.com and
That's
see
it.
if they have any alien friendly recipes.
There you go.
That's
There you
that's
go.
where we need to head with that. By the way, Rouge Creole is coming in for Foodie Friday this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I can ask them, like, if you've got aliens coming in
There you go.
from outer space, what are you putting on the menu right there?
Oh man.
Beef. It's fuel for your body all through your life, whether you're from another planet or not.
That's correct. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. In other news, former LSU football coach Ed Orgeron told Barstool Sports that he is considering returning to the gridiron nearly 4 years after his last game coaching the Tigers.
Yeah, that poor guy.
I think it's because he's just extremely passionate about coming back and just
All right, this is one of those two things
getting
can
back to it.
two things can be true at the same time here, JP. All right, yes, if you're a football coach, you want to coach football.
Yeah.
I understand that. But also, when you sign a multi-million-dollar deal to walk out the door, and then your ex-wife rakes you over the coals through the divorce, that could be playing into this as well.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's more the former than the latter. I honestly think he wants to get back out there.
Really? Yeah.
It's just in his blood, man. That's
Yeah,
what he
I think
does.
so.
That's who he is. I don't know who's hiring him, though.
Yeah. It's one thing to have a want and a desire and a passion, but who's taking you, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, and because he's the world-class recruiter. He is the benchmark for recruiting.
Yeah.
Before NIL. The benchmark for recruiting before revenue sharing.
Yeah.
Now, the benchmark for recruiting is Benjamin Franklin. So
you mentioned it last hour. So the same game that well, if he would, it'd be projected for next year, right? And so it's a different game, right? It's as far as what we're looking at on paper.
I don't know if like the what he did in the recruiting world, the power hours, the constant follow-up, the charting of all of it, everything that he and everybody around him, or he was directing those around him, everything that they did, as awesome as it was, I don't know if it sinks in as a message today. I mean, look at Bryce Underwood, Michigan's quarterback, right? All signs were he was coming here. Signed, sealed, delivered, right? Well, verbally. He was up until the last day he was coming here.
Mm-hmm.
And then a big fat check changes minds. So you ask yourself, what recruiting can actually be done that's going to trump dollars? Oh.
Something to think about.
Yep. We're at 7:14 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. A quick break. We'll talk Southern University next.
Is the doctor calling in? Is the doctor calling in?
Should be. Yep, there he is. Get the proper pronunciation of his first name, please.
Studio. All right. Yes, sir, Dr. Leland. All right. Yeah, we'll have you up here in just another, just a couple minutes. All right. Thank you, sir. Leland.
Leland.
Mhm.
Dr. Martin? Hello? Hey, this is Brian. We're in traffic right now. I just want to find out where you want to start the conversation at. Because Desiree sent me over a link to the Southern University System presidential strategic pillars and where it goes from there. But you want to give me a launching point, we'll just let the conversation run from there. 717 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Time to check in up at Southern University. They got a lot going on right now. In fact, there's construction going on campus. There's a focus on the future. There's a focus on STEM. I want to welcome to the show Dr. Leland Martin. Dean Martin, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How you doing, Brian? Thanks for having me on.
No, glad to have you on. Glad to be talking about what's going on up there. Southern's making some moves. I mean, we're seeing like not just within curriculum, not just with goals, but like the physical footprint of Southern. The university is getting a facelift with some new property.
Absolutely. I mean, it is an exciting time to be a part of the Jaguar Nation. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've only been here maybe about a year in my current role, and the amount of construction that's going up so far is astounding. I mean, we have right now, and I'm particularly excited because this affects my college. We're in the process of building a 94,000 square foot new sciences building on campus that's going to house our sciences program, our biology, chemistry, math, physics, and computer science programs. And other construction, we have a very beautiful amphitheater that's going to be facing the Mississippi River that's going up. We have a new business building that's on deck, and also a new nursing building, new police station. So the campus is just buzzing with activity. And on top of that, we just had a record number of freshmen come in this year. I know we're experiencing that in other schools across the state, but it's just really exciting time to be at Southern right now.
To what do you attribute that surge in freshmen?
Well, we really worked hard to let students know around the country that Southern University is a place that if you want to prepare yourself for the opportunities that are coming into the state of Louisiana and really be prepared to receive those opportunities, that Southern is a viable option, and I think students are responding.
We got Dr. Leland Martin with us from Southern University talking about some of the things that are going on up there on campus. And yeah, Dr. Martin. So, okay, my 8th grade daughter is playing AAU basketball. Her tryouts were at the rec center, and we had a basketball tournament right there on your campus as well. And I got to tell you, the amount of construction, it's to the point where there's so much going on, it's affecting like traffic routes. I mean, y'all are bustling. There's a lot.
We are, and it's a good problem in a sense.
Oh yeah.
It's commensurate to the growth that's going on in the state. I mean, I really can't say how excited we are to be a part of the efforts to develop workforce and to develop North Baton Rouge, that area economically, and really provide opportunities to these students. I mean, we're 75% Pell eligible in terms of our student demographic by and large, and so for every student that we graduate, it affects generations of their families. So we're not just helping students, right? But we're helping entire families capitalize and take advantage of the economic boom that's about to come to this state.
Let's dive into a couple of these things individually, because as you grow, as you move towards the future, you've obviously got to pick different lanes to travel down. I want to start with the sciences building itself. What is it going to house, and how is that? What's going to house? Timeline-wise, what are we looking at, and who's going to come out of there?
Right. So timeline-wise, we're looking at March of 2027 for a completion date. Again, it's 94,000 square feet. Primarily classroom and collaborative space for students. Our chemistry, biology, math, and physics, computer science programs will be housed there. And it's just really the first phase of the growth that we're trying to usher in for the College of Sciences and Engineering. Mm-hmm. So we've onboarded a few new programs. We just, in the last year, added a new construction management program, which is really, I mean, for lack of a better word, really cool, because these students are able to participate in some of the construction projects that are going on campus. So we have this new program in construction management, and then we have this immediate experiential learning opportunity for the students that are entering that program. We also added computer engineering, and that's sort of boosting our programs that we have now in quantum computing. We're part of an IBM quantum computing cluster, so we're adding capability there. We are actively a part of the artificial intelligence tool development boom, along with LSU and UL Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
And then also we have our esports gaming enterprise that we inherited from the Law Center. We renamed it the Esports Digital Gaming Ecosystem, and students are just loving what we're doing in the college right now.
All right, we're going to save some time for the esports on the back end, but I got to stick with on the computer engineering side of this, because that's where we're going to see a lot of jobs in the state. Whether you're talking about the data centers that are going to be moving in, over the next couple of years, or everything that manages those data centers on the back end, like all the individual vendors that are going to service those places as well. It feels like, I'm not on the inside like you are, but there is going to be a level of timing here that Southern's going to be able to take advantage of.
Yes. And so in order to really to take advantage of that timing, we have to do really three things, right? So we have to build out our infrastructure, which is what we're experiencing now with new construction.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to add new programs so that we can meet the needs that are coming to the state and that are already existing in the state and align with the needs of industry, right, with those programs.
Right.
But then we also have to make sure that we have the faculty who can really take us over the top with respect to serving as a bridge and a link so that students can have those transformative educational opportunities that they'll need in order to positively contribute to the workforce once they get out. So all of these things, this is song and dance, they all have to come in, but they're all investments, right? So investments in infrastructure, investments in new programs, investment in strategic hires, but all of that is going to equal just what we're hoping to be an explosion in the number of career-ready students that we have coming out of Southern. And not just employees, but as you said, vendors, entrepreneurs, new business.
Oh, yeah.
That are able to support the industry that we currently have and that's coming.
It's part of the equation that always gets overlooked, Dr. Martin, is the entrepreneur that is the job that is not connected to the job. It's not part of the direct numbers. It's not the one that Meta's going to get credit for. It's the people working alongside them. Southern already offers a computer science bachelor's degree, right?
Yes.
What's the difference between the current computer science degree and the future computer engineering degree?
Well, I mean, you can think of the computer science side as being more software. So software, apps, tool development,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the computer engineering side is more along the lines of hardware development. So focusing on the materials, graphic chip design, and the different hardware that you'll need to drive the software.
Okay.
So, but they're closely linked. So we have a number of faculty who are joint appointed between computer science and computer engineering. And just as a further note, computer engineering is actually housed with electrical engineering on our campus. So so computer science and computer engineering, you may think that they're really linked at the hip, but they're not. So computer engineering is really more on the engineering side, and we have that housed with electrical engineering. This is a shameless plug, Brian. This is a shameless plug. I'm actually a chemical engineer.
Okay.
And we don't currently have a chemical engineering program.
Mm-hmm.
But just this past Friday, our board of supervisors approved us to have a chemical engineering program. So I would be remiss if I didn't share my excitement about that. Now we're not ready to bring it on board yet. We have to go to the Board of Regents.
Okay.
But we have tremendous support from industry. I mean, think about the amount of chemical manufacturing industry that we have, the amount of energy-focused industry that we have in the state. And this new chemical engineering program is really just going to be the icing on the cake as we build out.
Oh, I can't. I mean, the amount of companies you share a river with, companies.
Yeah.
Heck, just drive up Scenic and you'll find a few. I mean, you're not short of workplace partnerships on that front. We're talking with
Exactly.
Dr. Leland Martin from Southern University, and I want to talk about workplace partnerships as well, because while this is a lot of workforce development, the workforce development end of the equation. There are partnerships that develop along the way to make sure that your students are staying out in the forefront for what's going on in the field and not just in the classroom. Where are the efforts right there?
So again, we are in our new programs, we're designing them so that they have a focus on experiential learning. So internship driven, co-op driven, industry-based certifications, and that forces us really to look to our industry partners in the local community and in the region to help us make sure that we align the skills that we're trying to develop in the classroom with the skills that they're going to need to be successful out in these various industries. So that's really been our focus. I put together an executive leadership council of about 20 of the most prominent corporations and industries in the region, and they work with me closely to help sure that we maintain that alignment.
Yeah, and these 20 companies on the executive leadership council, we're not talking about mom and pop shops here. We're talking Exxon Mobil, Shell, Dow, Chevron, Turner's up in there, Boeing, IBM. I mean, you're hitting some pretty big hitters.
Yeah, and they've been amazing partners. And to be quite honest, it would be impossible for us to make a strong case for the level of growth that we're trying to pursue without them 100% on board, and in some instances even driving. So we're really blessed to have them as such amazing partners. And they invest not just with their treasure; they provide scholarships, but they also spend their time, and they've also given us talent. To help us build these programs out.
We got about 2 minutes left with Dr. Leland Martin from Southern University. Okay, I promised we'd save some on the back end because while esports and e-gaming isn't going to be the headline driver that a $74 million building is, a state-of-the-art building is, there is room here for a whole lot of growth in the future because we're seeing things continue to explode. Talk to me a little bit about the efforts being put into e-gaming or esports.
Well, so just to give you a little backstory, so our Esports Institute was actually started by our law center when our current chancellor, Chancellor John Pierre, just saw an opportunity. He's like, this is fantastic, this is great. So he is a chancellor of the law center, brought esports and gaming on board. When he came over as chancellor of the main campus, we had several conversations, and we just thought it made sense to pull that over into sciences and engineering so that we can really marry esports and gaming with some of the activity that we have going on in virtual reality and virtual environments and mixed reality. So what we're hoping to do with that is use that as a vehicle to really get out into the community. One of the president's pillars is to be good stewards of community. So we don't want to measure success just by what happens on Southern's campus. We want to measure success based on the impact that we have in the surrounding community. And so esports and gaming is one of those areas where kids from K through 12, the entire community can really get involved and be active. So we're looking to really leverage our esports ecosystem so that we can get out into the community, get students interested in, of course, through games, get students interested in things like artificial intelligence, and also drone simulations and other things, so that they're better prepared and more excited about careers in STEM and want to pursue those paths. And hopefully they'll do it at Southern.
And that's where that's the ultimate aim, is moving the next generation into more STEM-based fields, not just playing games, more STEM-based fields.
Right.
Awesome
just to get them excited. So they think they're playing games, but really they're preparing themselves for a successful career in STEM.
He is Dr. Leland Martin, Dean over there at Dean of the College of Sciences over there at Southern University. Really appreciate the update. Thanks for hopping on board.
Thank you so much, Brian.
Absolutely. We got 7:30 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We got to check news, traffic, and weather. Baton Rouge Area Foundation is next. 738 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation in with us in just a second. I do need to remind you about the folks over at Breck. Breck.org is the home base. Breck.org is the home base online. If you want to find out about all the facilities, all the parks, all the events calendar, all the classes they've got, adult leisure classes, crafts, things that you could do, check them out at Breck.org. And then once you're out there in real life, whatever it is you're into, Breck has got you covered. You pickleball player, it's growing like wildfire. I don't understand it, but it's there, and they've got you covered. Especially at Highland Road Park, they've got, I want to say they tricked out the gym to give you indoor pickleball now as well. Yeah, check them out at Breck.org. And the Highland Road Park is just one of many fantastic parks and facilities that Breck has for you. We were slated to go out to Independence Park yesterday. That got rained out. We'll be back out at Independence Park later on this week for cross-country practice. And while we're out there for cross-country, we'll see the little kids playing soccer. And we'll see other kids playing football. And, of course, smack dab in the middle, you got the library right there, the gardens behind it. You got tennis courts across the street. Breck has got you covered. Start off at Breck.org. All right, Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation is in with us. How are you, sir?
Hey, Brian. Better this week than I was last week.
I'm sorry?
Well, I'm getting too old for this. A week ago, I and my wife and some friends were down at a concert on a Sunday night in New Orleans.
Uh-oh, here we go.
We didn't get home till almost 1 in the morning. And I tell you what, my entire week was almost wrecked from that.
Oh, wait, first of all, who'd you see?
Mumford & Sons.
You got loose at a Mumford & Sons concert.
There's some others.
Okay. Got home, you said a little bit after 1. Yeah, I think Monday you just got to tank Monday at that point.
Yeah, I think I had an 8 a.m. breakfast, so it was tough. Kids getting back into school. This we've got to change this dynamic of us getting in cars or in planes to go see concerts and entertainment events.
Could not agree more. If for no other reason than you're just shot the next day. And if you don't tank the next day, you basically have to phone in the whole week.
No, that's right.
Because you're going to try and struggle through it. Don't limp through it, man. Just tank a day, stay home. Or I mean, what if we walk down this possibility? What if we had a facility in Baton Rouge that could house the concerts that are currently in New Orleans?
Wow. Now, that's a novel concept, Brian.
I mean, this would be a good idea here if you got home at, say, 10:30, 11.
If only there were the prospects of a major arena to be developed in our community and a more mid-sized venue at the River Center. I mean, this would be kind of amazing for our quality of life, my sleep, and economic development. It'd be amazing.
And if only when you had the big arena, if you had, a local outlet willing to slap their name on it as part of a bigger plan to increase their footprint as well. It's almost like that would be a good idea.
What an ecosystem we could build here.
But
no, let's just keep driving to New Orleans.
Sure. Why not? Hit up, head on over to Houston when we need to. Why not? Because that's 5 hours of your life you never
No,
get
exactly.
back.
Exactly. No, that's what we're here to talk about this morning, Brian, is how do we build a thriving music ecosystem here in Baton Rouge?
Right, and there needs to be venues for all levels. And this is something we've talked with different Metro Council members about. This is something we've talked with you about, and the Visit Baton Rouge about as well. Everybody has a stake in this thing, and we don't want to lose any shows on any size. But what I'm most worried about right now is we don't get the big ones.
Yeah.
We don't get the over 12,000 person show.
That's right. Out of the top 100 cities in the country, Baton Rouge is 11th from the bottom at most concerts per capita. We did a presentation last week with our partners from Hunden. Hunden's a national leader in sort of destination real estate. They've sized up arena projects, entertainment districts all over the country. And Hunden, who's been hired by the city to really look at repurposing the River Center, said there is no amount of money you can put into that existing facility to make it quality. It is no longer functional. It frankly hasn't been functional as a sort of major concert venue for more than a decade.
Okay. Does somebody have the answer to the question, why is it not possible to revamp the River Center? Like, we understand that it's not possible to build it out to those specs. Why not?
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. I mean, one, just modern concert venues have sort of different infrastructure requirements, both to load and unload, to hoist kind of the major infrastructure that's used in these concerts, the type of seating, the type of amenities that's around it. It would be far better if you just imploded that building and started over if you were going to build an arena there. But then you have to ask the question is, how do we come up with at least $400 million to build a new arena downtown? And that's where we have this really amazing opportunity as a community because of the work that some of the partners you named earlier, we've been a part of over the last year and a half to really look at how can we build a set of complementary entertainment assets that work at every level for our community, including unlocking and leveraging Tiger Stadium more regularly for major shows.
Oh,
so we've got a spectrum here of small size venues, the Chelsea's Live, the Texas Club, Varsity when that's being programmed, the Manship. I mean, we've got an amazing set of smaller venues. Mid-size, we have nothing really in the middle. Between sort of 1,000 and 3,500, there's not a quality facility there, and that's something that we think, frankly, the River Center and its redesign and repurposing with a headquarter and a convention upfit could really be attractive, while LSU could really be the home of a new world-class, state-of-the-art arena that could serve concerts on the order of 7,000-10,000 people. And then, again, going to Tiger Stadium where you could host major shows of 65, 75, 100,000 people.
We're talking with Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. So the River Center itself, and I think the shorter answer to what you were describing with the why is it's so much easier to build out than try to retrofit into an already existing property.
That's right.
It just, you even, like you said, even if you demolish the River Center, you're still geographically constricted.
You are, but I think that space, and this is part of our big community effort with Plan Baton Rouge 3, which is really looking at a new master plan for downtown that one of the core pillars is anchored on entertainment and quality of life. And so that facility just so happens that you have the opportunity to add a new headquarter hotel, 400, 500 rooms. You have room to update the convention facilities and make it more flexible. And then number 3, you have room to build what is a flexible mid-size music venue, much like the Fillmore in New Orleans or the Steelhouse in Omaha, the Roxy in Atlanta. There's a need for that in our community.
Well, the Performing Arts Theater holds, I want to say 1,800.
That's right, but it's fixed seats. So we need something that's open and flexible, which gives our community not just a concert venue, but a banquet hall and extra convention space. And that's something that in this study they really profiled that. Baton Rouge, while we have not invested for the last 15, 20 years in our sort of music and entertainment assets, we're at this moment where we can actually get all of them in a relatively short period of time by collaborating rather than competing.
I don't want to lose that. That theater is fantastic, by the way.
It is.
It is. I mean, it would be, if there were collateral damage in a bigger project, we'd have to put it back together the same way it was, because it is the perfect venue for comedy. Oh, by the way. Went and saw John Crist there not long ago.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, a comedian named Derek Stroop opened for him, and Derek Stroop is everywhere now. Like, everybody's raving over.
Got to start here. See, this is it.
Yeah, we saw him here before he was big. He was awesome. We're talking with Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. How hard is it to make sure we don't lose any of the smaller parts in seeking out a greater goal? If you're talking about an 1,800 seat theater. If you're talking about the ice, if you're talking about the ice skating, the Zydeco, the skating on the road, how do we make sure as we dream big we don't lose our smaller footholds as well?
Yeah, look, I think there's room for everything, and I think with major investment comes that type of investment really catalyzes smaller investment and the sort of ancillary activities that we're missing. I mean that's what Plan Baton Rouge 3 is really looking at, is if we know we're going to make hundreds of millions of dollars worth of investment in new hotel, new entertainment space at the River Center. What's happening around it? We don't have any housing around it. There are very few restaurants immediately adjacent to it. You've got to make that area much more walkable, have many more sort of pedestrians regularly. And that's part of kind of activating a space, is that you don't just want it to be the place we go to and then we get in our cars and leave. You want folks to come there and stay for 5 or 6 hours on either side of an event so that they can actually sort of invest there. And so that's why this plan really is about, both quality of life and livability and jobs and opening up the riverfront. And so we've got this moment where if we work together, instead of sort of constantly criticizing new major investments by the same people who, by the way, complain that we don't have enough quality of life amenities,
Right.
I think there's a real opportunity to, in a very short period of time, within the next 5 to 7 years, you could have major arena, a mid-sized venue, a repurposed river center, and a sort of thriving connectivity between downtown and LSU in particular that is filled with amazing entertainment assets.
What's the latest on the LSU Arena and its the proposed LSU Arena and its partners?
Yeah, look, I think the arena is something that we certainly support. We need that investment in our community. I think you're really combining a world-class brand in LSU with investors who, but for that brand, would probably not be bringing their capital here. You've got, as it's been reported, Our Lady of the Lake stepping up to invest not just in an arena, but in other assets at the university that make this a true community investment. I think the key of why I'm so excited about this is that it's not a sort of isolated LSU only arena. It's actually a community arena. And that's the difference. That's what's happening right now in Baton Rouge, is that we're working together to unlock these assets for everyone and not just sort of keep them in our silos, in our own sort of corners. We're building something that will be for everyone to enjoy world-class concerts that right now you and I have to go travel to. And I'm tired of that.
We get Chris Meyer. We got 30 seconds left. I'll tell you what, stick around during the break. We'll talk over on Facebook Live as well, because I got a few more spots we want to hit up. We're on Facebook Live, courtesy of Lake Urgent Care, every single day. Chris is going to stick around over there. On air, we are going to be getting you to Your Money Now coming up in, like I said, less than 30 seconds. When we come back from our break, after we check Your Money Now, after we check traffic, we're going to dive back into that National Guard conversation. 135 Louisiana National Guard troops are heading up to Washington, D.C. Could they be better utilized here? We'll talk about that next. Over on Facebook Live, this conversation will continue right now. On air, here's Your Money Now. We keep seeing headlines about the Oakview Group.
Yep.
Is this holding us up? Is this slowing things down? Or are we still on pace and just kind of let's ride?
I think we're on pace.
Okay.
There's my understanding, and I've actually spoken to the CEO of Oakview Group, or the interim CEO, the sort of new leader in place. I think there's a strong commitment from that organization to our community. If we'll have them, there's apparently a report being done on kind of their business dealings across the country. I mean, they manage 600 different facilities. They directly own a handful, maybe 6 or 7 arenas, and LSU would be the 8th or the 9th. I know they've turned down other SEC schools for similar deals.
Okay.
And so these other communities have to come up with their own capital. They have to go to their own donors, their own legislatures. Here, the sort of investors in Oakview want to double down on Baton Rouge, and I think that's exciting that we can attract that kind of investment to our community. So my hope is it goes forward, but that's an LSU decision.
Meanwhile, with the rest of Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3.
Yep.
Which, by the way, just for future reference, Plan Baton Rouge, every time I see that acronym, I think Pabst Blue Ribbon. If anybody texts me, says, let's talk about PBR, I'm like, okay, I'll crack a PBR. Let's go.
I think we should. I think that's the whole. Every time they say it,
PBR, we get it.
Look, you can have like 30 of those for it makes a difference.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. With Plan Baton Rouge Phase 3, I've been to a couple of public meetings so far. I've taken part in one focus group call. They got another one coming up, and
like a week or two.
Yeah, I mean it's right around the corner
soon.
But we're in that hurry up and wait phase. This is to me this is the hardest part. Is because whatever the plan is, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's execute it. I know I'm kind of ready, fire, aim on this, but like I want to see something happen.
Yeah.
I mean, every time we run down this path of talking about things, we never get past the talking stage.
Yeah, but I mean, again, to this whole arena and river center conversation, like we are actually doing the thing as we design the plan. So do we physically know how the river center and the hotel is going to look? No, we've got some pretty awesome drawings to show you here when you get to this focus group of what it could be. But we are actively planning. Like I said, we presented the DDD last week. We think there's somewhere around $300 million over the next 30 years that could be generated for this facility, which is really enticing to attract the kind of other private capital we're going to need. We don't want to build this just like the arena where we have to go tax ourselves.
Right.
I want to build something that's going to attract others from outside our community and inside our community to use it, and those who use it are going to pay for it.
Yes.
So I think that's a a real plan we're sort of activating.
You mentioned some of the drawings.
Yep.
What's the river center going to look like? Like, what are some of the? Are we knocking down the whole shell, or are we building back within?
I think under the plan you and I spoke about, I think we can build back from within. But you would so you'd get a lot of savings in some of the infrastructure, and then you'd probably wrap it in a new modern way. But you'd repurpose like arena into a flexible concert venue. You'd add more flexible ballroom space. You might put a hotel either on that site or potentially somewhere across the street, which could be really, really exciting, that you might end up with river views from a hotel.
Let me re-ask the question.
Yeah.
The actual physical structure.
Yep.
What's the likelihood that comes down?
Oh, I don't know yet. I think probably not. I think you'll probably repurpose it, but you might take down parts of it.
Yeah.
To add some other things.
Well, because the way it's connected to the rest of the convention space, I don't know if you want to like burn that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, but that's part of something we're studying right now with both the Hunden team has been hired by the city, and Sasaki, our architects, will be hiring some engineers soon to kind of really get in and start assessing like the cost benefit of doing certain things. But it's a great shell. The interior we need to totally repurpose, and it doesn't make economical sense to do a major, 13, 15,000 person arena in there anymore.
No, because you want the 6,000 to 7,000.
I want probably
5 to 6.
Yeah,
5 to 6.
Yeah,
you
can
think
get
7 or over, you would move over to Our Lady of the Lake.
Yeah.
Which I'm already adapting to not calling it the PMAC. That's they're ready to move. They're ready to roll.
Oh, and they're making a transformative investment, as I understand it, in LSU and the community. Again, it's so
huge.
critical. This is not about an arena.
Right.
This is about an overall health and well-being of our community.
Yep. Next time we'll talk about filling in all the gaps on Nicholson. Once we get the riverfront.
This makes it possible.
Out.
Again, catalytic investment drives everything else.
Yep.
So,
he is Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks.
Thank
Seeing
you. Always. Are we back already? Okay. 7:55 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hey, you know what connects downtown to Baton Rouge better than anything? I'm sorry, downtown Baton Rouge to LSU better than anything? That'd be Matherns. You got Matherns downtown. You got them right there on 3rd Street. You've also got them on LSU's campus in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center, right across the street from Tiger Stadium. As football season bears down on us, yes, we're going away to Clemson for week 1, but as football season bears down on us, when week 2 gets here and we are on campus and we're bumping around tailgating, whatever it is you forgot for your tailgate, they got you covered. And if you bounce from tailgate to tailgate, they've got you covered. Just stop in. They'll be selling jambalaya out front. They turned a salad bar into a big old cooler for beer. Check them out. It's Matherns in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center. Coming up next hour, we're going to talk with Heather LeBlanc from Entergy, talking a little bit about some smart, simple ways to beat the heat and lower your utility bills throughout the summer. Personally, I've been loving the fact that every afternoon we get this deluge that knocks the temperature outside down from by about 20 degrees every day. That thunderstorm rolls through, and it goes from 92 to 72 like that. I'll take it. That'll shut the AC off quick. But you can't count on that every day. We'll talk with Heather next hour. Also coming up next hour, Congressman Troy Carter, a little DC Current presented by LABI. Right now, though, we talked about this in the 6 o'clock hour, and you've heard the news story from our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network. But I want your take on this up on the Facebook Live chat as well. And let me get back in there just to make sure. Governor Jeff Landry is sending 135 Louisiana National Guard troops to Washington, D.C. Good idea, bad idea? Let me know over on Facebook Live. Earlier when we talked about this, and I got to scroll back. Earlier when we talked about this, Galen said, I like the show of unity of using Louisiana National Guard. Also, it's a small group, so not really impactful if we need them for post-storm issues. I'd put this out there in the last hour and said it is great that we're sending troops to help clean up in Washington, D.C. That is our nation's capital, and it should be a point of pride for all of us. And if the president needs help, if the president's calling for help, yes, I do like the idea of sending help. However, what I don't like is fixing DC's problems before fixing our own. Like, we don't have a homeless problem here in Baton Rouge. It's not that bad, but it is a problem. Like, there isn't a bigger problem with homeless encampments down in New Orleans. And the other part that I can't get past is how long they're going to be there. In fact, Lieutenant Colonel Noel Collins says the soldiers are going to be in our nation's capital for at least a month.
We're going to be in support of the D.C. National Guard and the D.C. Metro Police, as well as local law enforcement. I don't have an exact date, but as of now, the orders go through 30 September.
Through 30 September. The peak of hurricane season is 10 September. It feels a little, I don't want to leave us exposed. I don't want to leave us unprepared should a storm roll our way. Lieutenant Colonel Collins says the governor was acting on a request from the president in order to restore the nation's capital.
We were asked to respond and support the D.C. National Guard, and that's what the Louisiana National Guard is doing.
And this involves not just it's not just the homeless encampments, but there's a safety and peace aspect of this as well.
They're in support of local law enforcement. That would include probably a variety of tasks.
The big thing here is the national headlines surrounding this. Surround the major areas of Washington, D.C. But as our nation's capital, I don't just want to protect Capitol Hill. I don't just want to see things cleaned up on the mall or by the monuments. It's all over D.C. It's Adams Morgan. It's Georgetown. It's Foggy Bottom. It's DuPont Circle. It's literally everywhere except for Nationals Park, and that's just because I'm a Mets fan. Quick break for news. Hour 3 is next. Byron says, I prefer stand-up to music concerts. So that River Center Performing Arts Theater at 1,800 folks is a perfect stand-up comedy venue. We saw John Christ there a couple months ago, and he was amazing. And yeah, if you don't yet know Derek Stroop, get to know Derek Stroop.
I'm gonna have to check him out. Love stand-up.
Oh.
Yeah, that Mumford and Sons show Chris was talking about, it was in Alabama. My boy Jeremy went to it. 7 hours away. It was in Birmingham. About 6.5 hours away. He left there about...
They didn't play New Orleans?
I don't know if they were in New Orleans, but yeah, I know it was just maybe 2 weeks ago. They were in Alabama. Yeah, and he drove from Alabama straight to work. Insane. But done that. Shoot, from home, I'd come out to Baton Rouge for shows and then get home about 2:30. Take a nap and then go to work.
Yeah, they play Waldenburg Park, August 3rd.
And that's in New Orleans?
Yeah. The Railroad Revival Tour.
Heck, Jeremy, why don't you just go to New Orleans? Unless he did go to New Orleans and then...
Hit them both?
Hit up both of them. Like, that's insane.
Byron, that was my point, man. I think Donald Trump made an open request. I don't think he called Jeff Landry directly saying, give me your guys in the middle of hurricane season. Downtown Spokane. I'm so sorry, y'all. It's going to be a rough hour. My power's still not back on. Entergy's latest text says they're on the scene. Whoop-a-dee-doo! This is the second time in a month we've lost it. Oh, shit. I got to walk around. I'm going to be back in a minute.
How far are you going to walk? Oh, okay. I was going to say, hey, you want to go check, see, make sure my car didn't get towed? I don't think it did. Let's see. So Byron, if you prefer stand-up to music concerts, have you watched any specials lately? Stand-up comedians? Or what's your favorite stand-up set, if you have one? The Jim Jeffries new special is outstanding. Jim Jeffries.
Telling y'all, man, if you don't know Derek
that?
Stroop yet, he is freaking everywhere. He is all energy.
Save that for next.
Big old fat guy from Alabama. He's not a big. He's big like I'm big. Oh, we're up. We're up already. 806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. JP producing. Busy hour this hour. We're going to check in with the folks at Entergy in our next segment. We are going to check in with Congressman Troy Carter before it's all said and done. A little DC Current presented by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Before we get to any of that, though, you know how we start the third hour off? The good folks over at 5 Star Printing and Signs bring you This Day in History.
All right. So beginning in 1791, Benjamin Banneker sends a copy of his almanac and writes a letter to Thomas Jefferson criticizing his pro-slavery stance and requesting justice for African Americans using language from the Declaration of Independence.
Awesome stuff.
1914, in a message to the Senate, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson urges the American people to be neutral in fact as well as name.
Okay.
Hey, the beginning of Saturday morning cartoons. This day, 1950, ABC begins broadcasting Saturday morning kids shows and The Animal Clinic and Acrobat Ranch.
Acrobat Ranch and The Animal Clinic?
Yeah.
No.
1950, come on.
Oh, okay. Whatever. I'm trying to think best Saturday morning cartoon overall. I mean,
depends on the era, right?
Yeah.
And then, so many.
I gotta roll Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe the Flintstones, maybe something like that.
Well, Flintstones. But
See,
if you're
there's so many.
Flintstones, then would you rather the Flintstones or the Jetsons?
Flintstones.
All right. And I'm of the generation where the USA Cartoon Express was in the mix here.
Oh, okay. Mine was Fox Kids.
Okay.
So it was a little different.
Wait, was what?
Fox Kids.
Fox Kids?
Yeah.
What's that, like a Tiny
like
Kilmeade?
Yeah. Oh, man. Remember Bobby's World? That was a big one. Oh man,
I thought people
They
get that
did the
image out of my
gesture.
head.
I know. Then you added the gesture, like. Oh man, 1955. Wins Radio in New York City announces it will not play white cover versions of R&B records, opting instead to play Fats Domino's "Ain't That a Shame" rather than Pat Boone's.
10-10 wins.
Yeah,
Gotta
man.
love it.
Let's see. There are a ton here. Got some more. You know what? 1971, Led Zeppelin kicked out of North American tour at the Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver, Canada. The band played to a sold-out crowd of over 17,000 fans. Another 3,000 fans outside the venue didn't have tickets, started a battle with the local police.
Okay. Rewind back to 1963.
Yeah.
This day in 1963. You remember the movie JFK?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a scene in JFK where Lee Harvey Oswald is having a heated debate on a TV show. Is a pro-communist or is the debates about communism?
Right.
That happened on WDSU in New Orleans.
Okay.
And that happened on this day in 1963. Lee Harvey Oswald appeared on the program Latin Listening Post, and then went over to WDSU and recorded a 37-minute debate, a 37-minute segment. 4.5 minutes of it aired.
Oh,
I know. Chopped up to pieces. But that was
That's
on this
tough.
day. So that scene from the movie JFK happened today.
nice, man. That's awesome. Hey, the Commodores started a 5-week run at #1 on the UK singles chart with 3 Times a Lady. Lionel Richie wrote the song about his love for his wife, mother, and grandmother, hence once, twice, 3 Times a Lady in 1978.
Okay.
You know the Commodores were almost the Commodes?
No.
Yeah. Lionel Richie tells this story about how he opened the dictionary and he's like, whatever it lands on, there it is. And it was the Commodores. But it could have
Okay.
been the Commodes.
I mean, you're not off by far with that one.
Yeah, man. Well, did you have anything else?
No, that was it for events. We can move on to birthdays.
All right. What about Bill Clinton today?
What about him?
It's his birthday.
I know.
Hey, what about John Stamos as well?
Same.
Orville Wright? Matthew Perry today.
Aw.
I knew I had one more for you. Oh yeah, John Deacon, bass player for Queen.
All right. I got a couple to throw in that mix as well. I'm waiting for it to upload though. Let's go.
What about Fat Joe and Nate Dogg?
Nate Dogg would be a good one. Fat Joe, maybe a little bit less. From the sports world, Kirk Cousins. He was born on this day in 1988. Also in the sports world, remember Nate Burleson, formerly of the Lions. Now he's on the NFL Network, if I'm not mistaken. He was born on this day in 1981. You've got... Give me one more second. Oh, Kirk Herbstreit. That's who I was looking for. From ESPN. He was born on this day in 1969. And the founding... Hang on now. All right. I almost screwed this up. Born on this day was basically the Who Dat Nation.
Okay.
All right. You had Bobby Hebert. It's his birthday. Bobby Hebert was born on this day in 1960, as was Morton Anderson.
Okay.
So you had number 3 and number 7. You had the quarterback and the kicker from the Who Dat Nation born on this day. A Hall of Fame Bengals tackle, Anthony Munoz, also his birthday. And back in the world of politics, we go with Fred Thompson. It's his birthday as well.
All right.
Fred Thompson, former Tennessee senator who starred in a bunch of movies.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Moving on to deaths here. Augustus and Groucho Marx
Boy,
today.
that guy.
Those are my two.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
I didn't have any on that side, so.
Okay. Let's see. National days here. World Humanitarian Day.
Okay.
How's that?
That'll work. We can roll with that one.
Okay.
It's 8:13 to Talk 107.3 FM. One birthday I missed, author Frank McCourt. Frank McCourt, the author of Angela's Ashes and A Monk Swimming. He was born on this day in 1930. All right. That was This Day in History, which is, of course, presented by the folks over at 5 Star Printing and Signs. My guy Danny and his team over at 5 Star do some pretty amazing work. If you need yard signs, if you need political signs, we're getting into that season as well with a bunch of judge races on the ballot. If you need banners, if you need decals, if you need your vehicle wrapped, check out 273-4096. 273-4096 for 5-Star Printing and Signs. Danny and his team have got you covered. The work is just impeccable. And, oh, by the way, I failed to mention merch. Putting your brand on anything right now as you put your best foot forward. Cannot tell you how important branding is. Cannot tell you how important it is to be top of mind wherever you're at. 5-Star Printing and Signs has got you covered. Did I say 273? I'm missing by a mile. 271.
All right, Kimberly. So Going to California is my favorite Led Zeppelin song. It's good stuff.
Sheesh. Oh. Is my power back on yet?
Man, for your sake, I hope so.
Entergy outage map. Louisiana. Boom, boom. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump, bump. Nope. We are still without power. God damn it. Yesterday, at about 4 o'clock, maybe a little after 4, I'm sitting there in my car, looking at the thermostat on the dashboard, and it says 95. Picking up the kids in carpool, taking them home. By the time we got home, the thermostat said 70. The skies had opened up, the deluge had started, and that afternoon storm did its job to knock the temperatures down. But you can't count on that every day. So, what are you doing to manage your thermostat, manage your temperature within your house, while not just completely breaking your back with the bills along the way? Maybe even lower your utility bills a little bit. Here to talk about that from Entergy Louisiana is Heather LeBlanc. Heather, good morning. Welcome back. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having us again.
No, glad to have you back on. Glad to be talking about this. A couple of things that folks can be doing. I mean, we're in August. We're midway through August, but I don't see any breaking the heat coming anytime soon.
No, it's extremely hot out there. And today we wanted to talk about a couple different programs that Entergy offers for our Entergy Louisiana customers.
Mm-hmm.
We have a energy efficiency program called Entergy Solutions. And our residential and commercial customers are eligible for a high-efficiency AC tune-up. And you can also get an energy assessment, and we'll come through and tell you if you need insulation or duct sealing or anything else that can help you save usage on your utility bill.
Let's talk about that AC tune-up first and foremost. I mean, is it different than the general maintenance you'd get from your AC company?
It's similar, but we do what's called a high efficiency tune-up. So basically, they go and they check out and service the outside of the unit as well as the unit in your attic. So it's getting both pieces of the equipment. And so what we do then is about a 30% on average savings on your utility bill if you get that tune-up. And it's there to save money and help our customers out.
Because a big part of making sure you're getting your house as cool as you wanted is pumping out cool air to begin with. I mean, if your AC is not pumping out the coldest it can, it's going to just by principle, it's going to run longer.
Correct. And the other piece of that is when we do our tune-ups, we also link that with the duct sealing. And so our trade allies will go into your attic or under your home, and they'll check to see if there's any leaks in your ductwork. And so that will also keep you from putting that precious cold air out into the heat of the attic, and into your home where you want it. And then you can also partner that with our smart thermostats, and so then you can control your thermostat when you're home and you're not home. And so that's very helpful to help keep down your utility bills as well.
Give me an idea of how much. Let's say the AC tune-up there, when combined with the energy assessment as well. How much can you save on your energy bill by doing this?
It's about 30% on average that we're finding that customers can save. And again, that's for our residential and our commercial customers. Some other things that we offer for our small business commercial customers, we do some interior and exterior lighting upgrades, and as well we have some rebates on some kitchen equipment that you can participate in.
Tell me about them.
So we would come in and do an assessment. So if you have some old lights in there, we can go and convert them to LED. And then if you have some old kitchen equipment, whether it's electric or gas, we can help you convert that to some new, more efficient equipment with some rebates.
The lights themselves, converting to LED, does LED, does it cost less? Does it, burn less electricity?
So the bulbs are a little bit higher, but it uses a lot less electricity. I read a stat one time that for 1 4-foot tube light that you replace in your building, it saves about $10 annually on your bill. So if you add up how many are in your commercial business, that adds up pretty quickly when you think about that over the course of those lights. And then that's the savings every year that you would get from converting those to the LED bulbs. We're
talking with Heather LeBlanc from Entergy about maybe knocking some dollars off the bill as we roll through these summer months. What was the kitchen part of this, the kitchen appliance part of this that you had mentioned on the front end?
So some commercial kitchen equipment,
yeah.
We have rebates for certain items, and all that can be found on our website, which is EnergySolutionsLA.com. You can also reach us at 844-829-1300, and we're happy to help you and connect you with one of our verified contractors to help you through this process.
We got Heather LeBlanc for just a couple more minutes here, talking Entergy Louisiana, talking about keeping the power bills down as we roll through the summer months. Heather, I want to go back up to the smart thermostat you mentioned, because this one's one that if you don't have it, you oftentimes don't think about, if I'm not going to be in the house, I can turn the temperature up a little bit. It's one of those out of sight, out of mind things. How important is a smart thermostat?
It's very smart, because recently we went on vacation and I realized that we did not bump up our thermostat. We have it set for the normal day-to-day activity, but if you're not home for a week, you don't want it running, even cooling even at night.
Yeah.
So I was able to log into my app from the airport and actually bump up the temperature and set a new schedule while we were out, and it would automatically reset back to our schedule, based on the date that I said that we would return home. So it's very convenient when you're not home, and then you can bump it down when you're about, 45 minutes away from home. So it saves on the usage as well when you can manage that remotely.
It's one part of it to shut the AC down or turn the thermostat up when you're not home. The other part of that smart thermostat is you could talk to it before you arrive back home to get it cooling back down again, so you don't have that waiting period. If you get back home, it's like, ugh.
That's the best part, I think.
Absolutely. We got a couple minutes left here with Heather LeBlanc from Entergy, Louisiana. When it comes to things like the AC tune-up, when it comes to things like the energy assessment, how frequently should folks be looking at this? And is it like, is this, if you've got an older home, a newer home, like, is this something that can really, is it something for everybody?
It is something for everyone. Whether you own your home or you rent, this program applies to you. We'll come out to your home and we'll look for if you need attic insulation, if you need air sealing or duct sealing. It's really a full energy efficiency assessment of your home to pinpoint things that are inefficient and that where you can save some money. We offer other things on our online marketplace. We have advanced power strips. We have pipe insulation. I know it's hot right now, but the winter months are coming. And so, that's always nice to get that ahead of time before we get those freeze warnings and then everything is sold out. So all those items are on our website, on our online marketplace, and you can order those and it's sent straight to your home. And again, we can come out and look at your home and help you decide and what is the best way to tackle some of these inefficiencies in your home.
What are some of the bigger, well, I don't want to say requests, but, some of the bigger, more frequent feedback you get from folks when it comes to what their personal issues are in being, and being basically an energy vampire over there? What are some of the bigger ones that folks might not be thinking about that could be really affecting the temperature in your home?
I think the duct sealing is probably the most eye-opening. We had this in our own home. We flooded and we had a whole new unit put in the 2016 flood. And my son kept saying, "Oh, his room was hot. His room." I was like, "It's a brand new unit." Come to find out that the ductwork was not connected properly to his room, and so we had been just pushing that cold air out in the attic. So I think it's very helpful for people to see it. And just over time, some of that is taped seals come loose, and you just don't realize how much cool air you're losing throughout your ductwork.
Can insulation go bad? I know that sounds like an odd question, but if my attic is properly insulated in, like, let's say 2019, do I need to check it again in 2021?
We will come out and make sure that you have the correct depth of insulation. It does kind of settle over time in places, and if you go up in your attic, get those decorations down, you maybe inadvertently move some stuff around.
Yep.
So we will go in and just make sure that it's spread evenly, or if you need to add some, or even replace it all, we can help you with those assessments and those decisions.
Give us the website and the phone number one more time.
It's EnergySolutionsLA.com, and then our phone number is 844-829-1300.
844-829-1300. She is Heather LeBlanc from Entergy. Thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We're at coming up on 827 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website, LandmarkBankLA.com. They were founded in 1897 as a community bank. And here in 2025, guess what? They're still a community bank. Heather was talking about the flood back in 2016. Can you imagine walking back through that and not having the partnership of a community bank? Can you imagine walking back through COVID and not having the partnership of a community bank? It's times like that where folks like Landmark Bank shine because they really get the opportunity to show off that, hey, they're here to work for you, not the other way around. They're here to work for you to make sure that your business, your personal banking is tight, it's taken care of. Whether you're talking about borrowing, whether you're talking about checking, whether you're talking about diving down that entrepreneurship route, LandmarkBankLA.com is your go-to. LandmarkBankLA.com. We do have a couple minutes here before we hit news. Oh, and I have to make another correction. JP, what is wrong with me today, man? This is twice.
It's all good.
I was all jacked up at the 6 o'clock hour, and I thought I was good to go. And then I was doing the read for 5-star, and I gave out the wrong deadgum phone number. It's 271-4096. 271-4096. I don't
know, man.
It's one of those days. I probably should have called in today.
Oh,
it's one of those days where, like, when you're the morning guy, there's no one you can call at 3:45 in the morning.
Yeah, unfortunately.
When you're rolling out of bed and it's like, oh, I don't
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Spent.
I know what you mean.
And it's
I'm in
only
the trenches.
Tuesday.
I'm in the trenches with you.
It's only Tuesday, man.
Yeah.
All right. We're not done yet. We got Congressman Troy Carter coming up in our next segment, a little DC Current presented by LABI, the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. Looking forward to that conversation. I believe Congressman Troy Carter, was on the Mardi Gras Express yesterday, or Mardi Gras Service, or whatever they call the New Orleans to Mobile train. We're going to talk about that. Also, he's a little feisty when it comes to the levy inspections or lack thereof. We're going to talk about that as well. He sent a letter to President Trump urging a reversal of the decision on inspecting levees down in New Orleans, which, as we approach the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, definitely suspending levee inspections is probably not the best of ideas. So we'll talk with Congressman Troy Carter coming up right after we check ABC News, local news, traffic, weather. It's all coming your way here. Oh, do I have time for this? How long do I have?
35 seconds.
Oh, then I do have time for it. Okay. I do need my internet to work. Now I'm going to have to rush it. Talk 107.3 and Citizens Bank and Trust want to make things a little easier on your budget by making your groceries for an entire year. And even if you don't win the grand prize, we're awarding second chance prizes of $250 gift cards to High Neighbor Supermarkets. It's the free groceries for a year sweepstakes, powered by Citizens Bank and Trust, High Neighbor, and Talk 107.3. Register now at talk1073.com. Here's news. I can grab something off the printer. Do I have 3 minutes? Congressman said he just called with no answer. There he is. Rolling over to 838 at Talk 1073 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. It is time for us to check in with our representation up on the Hill. A little time for a little DC Current. Welcoming back to the show, as we do every week, Congressman Troy Carter from Louisiana's 2nd Congressional District, which does weave its way on through our listening area. Congressman Carter, how are you, sir?
Fantastic. How are you this morning?
I am doing well. You sound like a man who's fresh off a train ride. Did you get to hop on the train yesterday?
Well, you know what? It was fantastic. I got a chance to witness what we'd worked on for many, many years, an opportunity to bring rail back between New Orleans and Mobile and Biloxi, the Gulf Coast. Our next mission is to work on having rail from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. So progress is on the way. Promises made, promises kept. $178 million from the bipartisan infrastructure bill made this possible. A lot of really, really good people throughout the Gulf Coast working on this, local, state, and federal. Great partnership to make this day a reality.
I'm worried about the Baton Rouge end of this one, Congressman, because I think y'all are going to get a false number on what demand's going to look like.
Well, you know, we have to work through that.
Yeah.
We have to work through that. The reality is the benefits far outweigh all the, whether it's naysayers or overbids or overshot. We got to narrow this thing down, put our heads together, and recognize the incredible value from an economic standpoint, from a job standpoint, from an environmental standpoint, the win-win that the people from New Orleans to Baton Rouge and all points in between will benefit from having this access.
Well, okay, and so first of all, I am one of those naysayers. I don't know how popular it's going to be, but I can tell you this: if we're judging anything, so they're going to be offering a bus service from Baton Rouge down to New Orleans to hop on the Mardi Gras Express or whatever the name of the train is. They're going to be offering a bus service, so that bus service is going to leave from the Greyhound station on Florida to go down to New Orleans, and I really think that's going to curb the number of people who take it because of where it's taking off from, and it's going to give all the players involved a lower number than what we could honestly expect if we were to have, train service overall. I think it's going to give a false low.
Well, you know, I don't know. I don't know that I agree with your position there, but I don't have facts to refute it either. But I will tell you this: that many years ago, the opportunity to do this was there. The market is there. From all of the experts that I've worked with over the years, there seems to be a strong belief, and I share that, albeit not being able to offer statistics to support it at the moment, that the advantages and the ridership will in fact be there. When you think about people who may live in New Orleans and work in Baton Rouge, think about our many members of the legislature who go back and forth, people who shop at Tanger Mall, people who this opportunity makes the state a smaller place. People are able to go and shop and experience and still be home for supper. You know, there's a lot of pluses and there's a lot of movement. Look at the amount of vehicles that are on the interstate every day going back and forth between Baton Rouge. Imagine the strain we take off of our infrastructure and the environment. We don't have that many vehicles on the road because people are taking the train. I don't know, man. I think you may be pleasantly surprised.
And bear in mind, I'm arguing against myself with this. Like, I think demand's gonna be low. I just don't want it to be a false low. If they would move here, let me throw this out there. If they would move the launching spot of the bus around, if they would move the pickup and drop off for the bus around, I think we would see different numbers and probably get a better gauge of the overall demand.
Well, but those are variables that are very doable, right?
Yeah,
So
100%.
That's the plus of these discussions. Those are variables that are not insurmountable. So you bring a good point. Maybe we tweak that a little bit.
Well, and look, ultimately, I'm a big believer in the super region. I'm a big believer that Baton Rouge and New Orleans can combine for a super region. We're going to see that in the very near future with our ports. But it's just while I'm a believer on that side, I at least want to have honest numbers on the other side before making an argument.
And listen, I think it's always healthy to have meaningful dialogue, to have devil's advocacy. Check our math.
Yeah.
I'm not one that believes you should have only one idea. We should always have multiple ideas and meld them together and come up with a better idea. So I think having devil's advocacy to check our homework, look at how things could be better. Maybe we tweak it here, tweak it there. At the end of the day, I'm not certain of all the machinations that gets us there, but I believe the end product is a victory for the people of Louisiana.
We get Congressman Troy Carter with us. This is DC Current, presented by the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, your state's Chamber of Commerce. Learn more about them at labi.org. You know what is the bad idea, Congressman? Not checking on the levies.
Absolutely. Listen, and we talk about a lot of things on here, and we get to the line of partisanship. We cross the line of partisanship. We come right back to the magic and the value and the plus of bipartisanship. This is one of those cases where you just can't make this make sense. Particularly here we are on the cusp of the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. We're in the throes of hurricane season. We've got a nasty thing out there in Aaron. And we're talking about not testing our levees because we're trying to save money. It is the epitome of pay me now, pay me later, penny wise, pound foolish. We know that after Katrina, the reason we have been able to do better with storms that came after is because we check those levees regularly. We fortify them. We make sure they're strong. We ensure that the Corps of Engineers are on their job. And now, because of this big ugly law and some effort to save money, we are going to take away our regular testing to make sure that we're fortifying these levees and making sure that they're sound. Well, I wrote a letter last week to the President and to the Army Corps of Engineers, respectfully, and underscore respectfully. Everything is not a fight. Asking them to seriously reconsider what I think is a very bad move, to reconsider the lives that will be lost in an attempt to save a penny or two. We're going to spend a heck of a lot more money fixing things after they're broken, and we're going to lose a lot of lives. So I have not heard back. I just sent the letter last week. I'm hopeful that I will be able to engage with the President and the Corps of Engineers to express to them that this is a challenge. And I don't believe anyone in our state, Republican or Democrat, would disagree with that.
I'm with you on this one, Congressman. This is a perfect example of an ounce of prevention being worth a pound of cure. And the difference between Katrina and Ida was completely the levee system. I don't know how frequently are our 3,100? Is it 3,100 miles of levees we have within the state? Is that right?
Yes, 3,100 miles. Yes.
I don't know how frequently they're all individually inspected, but I mean there's got to be some level of oversight here.
Well, they're supposed to be inspected. Historically, they've been inspected annually.
Okay.
Now, under this proposal, they will be inspected every 5 years. Well, a lot of stuff can happen in a year, and a hell of a lot of stuff can happen in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. The truth of the matter is, every year makes sense after we've had a hurricane season. Rather we were hit with hurricanes or not, the Earth's moving. There's settlement. There's things that happen that we need to test, to modify, to reshore. And I think the people of Louisiana deserve a government that is paying attention and not being penny wise and pound foolish. To take away inspections, that's like saying we're not going to go to the doctor and have a checkup anymore. We're not going to change our oil anymore. We're just going to drive our car until and every 5 years we're going to roll the dice and see if it's okay. No, man, these are people's lives. We have to check these levees. We have to utilize the science of the Army Corps of Engineers, who, by the way, have done an incredible job. So there's no criticism to the Army Corps. I think they're doing a phenomenal job. They're just doing what they're being told. And I'm hopeful that that my letter and our discussions, as you know, I'm the founder and co-chair of the Emergency Preparedness and Recovery Caucus of the United States Congress, and I'm hopeful to use the weight of the caucus to demonstrate in a bipartisan way that this is a mistake and it needs to be reversed.
I was looking at different angles with which this might come back to bite us. Obviously, not having the oversight on the levees themselves would be a thing, and you can whistle past the graveyard from time to time. But are there going to be other potential ramifications of this? I look at all the work that our legislature and our insurance commissioner and our governor are doing to lower our home insurance rates. Would this have a play there?
Absolutely. When we are creating mitigating factors that we can build as an argument to lower insurance rates because we're taking aggressive steps. Well, this is an aggressive step or two or three or four or five backwards.
Right.
Because instead of fortifying our levees and demonstrating that we're making it stronger, which is going to protect us against tidal surge, well, now we are rolling the dice and we don't know what shifts may have happened, what damage may have happened. We don't know if our levees have weak points because we're not going to check them for every 5 years. That's certainly not best practices. It is by no stretch good policy, and I am very, very determined to make that case and have a reversal.
Well, we got 10 days till our Katrina anniversary, 20 years in the books. We'll check back in on this one as it moves forward. Hopefully you hear a response. He's Congressman Troy Carter. We do it every time this week. Always appreciate the time, sir.
God bless you, my friend. Have a fantastic week.
You do the same. Did I really just spend that whole time arguing against myself on the train? I feel like I'm confusing. I'm mucking up the works because on the surface, I don't think we're going to have the demand for a train from Baton Rouge to New Orleans. And there's other reasons to go behind that. And I'm looking at the clock right now, and maybe I should spell those reasons out after the break. Here comes Your Money Now at 8:50. Oh, by the way, 4:55 this morning, or 4:52 this morning, I think it was. The Fox News Rundown dropped an S-bomb on the airwaves for us.
Really?
Yes.
They cleaned it up, huh?
Huh?
They cleaned it up by
No.
now, or no?
No.
Oh.
No. The second last segment of the Fox News Rundown includes Chad Withrow from Outkick with Hunt,
Okay.
Mike with Hunt and Withrow.
Yeah.
And he was talking about Shedeur Sanders, and he was listing off some like reasons. He says, maybe you just don't give a shit. Loud and effing clear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. If the FCA is still listening.
I don't know if we have to edit before 5 a.m.
Oh, really?
That might be still
before.
considered the overnight bucket.
Oh, okay.
But that show used to air in the 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah.
Actually, that show used to air in the 9 o'clock hour before we brought Moon back. He said on air, maybe you don't give a shit.
Dang.
Bro.
That's.
And he wasn't live. That's the thing. They pull that clip to play back. Like he said it, they recorded it, they plugged it back in, they added imaging, and they played it back.
Someone's out there.
It's not accidental.
No, they just want to see what they can get away with.
Maybe you don't give a shit. Oof. I will never forget. This is about. No, it wasn't. No, just now. Yeah, it was on Facebook.
Yeah, it was on Facebook, but
on the air this morning. We run the Fox News Rundown in the 4 o'clock hour, and Chad Withrow from Outkick was talking about Shedeur Sanders, and at some point he said, maybe you don't give a shit. Okay, so it's midnight to 6. That's what it is. It was 4:55, 4:52 our time. Maybe you don't give a shit. Oh, I'm going to be recording a podcast at 10.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, I should be.
Can I read an email?
Wait, what?
I'm going to read an email to you real quick. Facebook, listen to this. Tell me if this sounds legit. The subject line is our meeting. My dear, sorry to bug into your privacy. I just want to be friends or maybe share some business ideas with you if you don't mind. I'm Lucy Craig, a 23 years girl. I'm an expert in online investment trading. I coach and teach people on how to earn additional good income daily and weekly without stress or stepping out of their homes. Please reply for more details if you interested. Lucy Craig.
Yeah, for sure. Legit. Yeah, of course.
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, absolutely not.
That sounds legit, right?
Yeah,
It's 100% legit.
Totally.
I should send them money.
Yeah. Even if they're not requesting it.
No, they're
Like,
not requesting
thank you
money.
for reaching out.
No, I appreciate you reaching out. To show you how much I appreciate it, here's my bank account number, my social security number, and a list of my fears.
Right. It's that list of fears that'll get them.
What was I talking about? No, heading into the break. I said I'd pause and we'd come back to it. Was it the train? Yeah. 856 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Been a busy show today. Thanks to everybody who's hopped on board. Appreciate Jeff Crouere back in the 6 o'clock hour, talking about LaToya Cantrell's indictment. Talking a little bit about himself, actually, this morning, because Tyler Bridges at the Picayune and the Advocate had a big write-up on Jeff, and a lot of people may have been caught by surprise that he also works for the treasurer. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay it, but at the same time, though, I thought that was common knowledge. I mean, not that everybody knows who is the head of communications for the treasurer's office, but his name's on every press release. If you're a reporter who has questions, The name's right there, and you can print as such. Anyway, we talked with Jeff about that. We've talked with Dr. Leland Martin from Southern University about some of the great things they've got going on over there, specifically in the STEM world. Chris Meyer from the Baton Rouge Area Foundation, Heather LeBlanc from Entergy, and Congressman Troy Carter and I just got wrapped up talking about that train and the possibility of extending it from New Orleans to Mobile, backing that up to come here to Baton Rouge. Now, a couple things. As we're heading into the break, I was saying I don't know if I've muddied the argument by arguing against myself. Because my whole thing is I want the argument to be fair. I want to have accurate numbers across the board. If I tell you I don't believe demand for a New Orleans to Baton Rouge train will be high, I want to have numbers that back that up without being skewed. And the numbers that are going to be accumulated to make the argument as to whether or not they should add train service all the way up here to Baton Rouge is that starting next week, there's going to be a bus that runs from Baton Rouge to New Orleans and then hops on the train from there. So if you're looking at this from a 10,000-foot view and you want to use bus service from Baton Rouge to New Orleans as your marker for or your point of demarcation for whether or not there's demand for a train service, I got to ask, if I'm going to New Orleans, if I want to go, okay, our good friend Daniel Erspamer at the Pelican Institute, if he's in the CBD. Our good friend Jeff Crouere over there he's at WGSO. WGSO 990 AM in New Orleans. They're right there at Carondelet downtown. According to my iPhone, it would take an hour and 26 minutes to get to WGSO from here right now. How long would it take if I were to drive over to the bus station on Florida, hang out with a couple of crackheads, wait on a bus, hop on a bus, the bus drives down to New Orleans, the bus doesn't stop in the 900 block of Carondelet, so I can get off the bus at another bus station or the train station, and then haul my happy butt over to WGSO. Now we're talking a good 2.5 hours. Plus, the friendly conversation you have with, the waiting room in Beetlejuice. I'm just saying you're not going to get a real number on what demand looks like. Ew. Hey, is that Elvis? Yo, King! We're out of here. Moon's next.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
Was the waiting room for Beetlejuice too much?
Oh, man. Oh. Oh, man.
Oh, Facebook. I got to get out of here. I got to prep for my podcast. We'll see y'all.